Dur's modular layout allows full automation and features digital solutions that maximize productivity and efficiency. Our paint shop will deliver a surface finish that will be unmatched in the region. This slide is most exciting because it shows the start of this automotive cluster. 3 OEMs and 5 strategic suppliers. I've never seen so many people taking pictures before. Holy cow. These suppliers will provide components and sub-assemblies built just in time and delivered in sequence to the respective OEMs. It's all about lean manufacturing, and as I said before, the systematic elimination of waste. This will be the region's first vertically integrated automotive cluster. It is lean manufacturing in action right here in King Abdullah Economic City. And if that doesn't get you excited after lunch, I don't know what will. As I've said many times before, we're not just launching a car company. We are igniting an industry. And in doing so, we are helping to change a country. That's why so many of us have left family and friends and have moved to the kingdom because what we're doing is super, super exciting and very, very special. I would like to extend my thanks and gratitude to the Kingdom's Industrial Center, the Ministry of Industry and Mineral Resources, the Public Investment Fund, and King Abdullah Economic City for inviting me here this afternoon to speak. In closing, I hope you see the opportunity that lies in front of all of us, and I hope you're willing to join the family. Thank you for your time and your attention, and I look forward to the exciting partnerships that lie ahead. Shukran.
Thank you, Mr. James. I would like to welcome Mr. Kevin Callanan, the Vice President of Supply Chain at Lucid, who will explain Lucid's roadmap to manufacture 155,000 electrical cars per year in Saudi Arabia.
Well, remind me never to follow Jim DeLuca in a speech. I think that's my first lesson of today. Well done, Jim. I'm inspired after lunch. So incredible. My name is Kevin Callanan. I'm the Vice President of Supply Chain and Procurement at Lucid Motors. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, and other fellow OEMs, welcome. Thank you for having me here in the Kingdom. Everyone's been so welcoming since I landed. From simple interactions in local shops to meeting with key leaders in the Kingdom, I'm impressed with the genuine warmth, with how I'm welcomed, and really the pride that everybody has when they're speaking about the vision and the growth here in the Kingdom. So I want to thank each of you for contributing to the EV sector's success in the Kingdom. I've had the good fortune of visiting the remarkable cities of Riyadh and Jeddah, and now seeing Cake, for me, for the first time, the vision is more clear, more tangible than ever. I've been fortunate to work for world-class companies such as Apple, so very familiar with Foxconn, an exceptional company. I've worked at Dell and Sanofi, all in very challenging, purpose-driven industries. And so what attracted me really to Lucid was the opportunity to work with a team that is delivering a truly amazing product and a mission that expands beyond just one company, one country, one region. Right? It's an opportunity really to change the world. And the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia today is playing a pivotal role globally to lead in this change. I'm also proud to say that the majority of the people working at Lucid are passionate and talented Saudi nationals. And many of you here will establish a business in KSA for decades to come. So I would encourage you to go see the Lucid EVs that are parked outside each entrance, the Lucid booth, which is in the back, where some of the Lucid team are here to meet you and discuss about existing and new partnerships. You'll see the passion for Lucid, for changing the world, the excitement they have been privileged to be a part of a very special evolution right here in Cake. And so they say pictures speak 1,000 words, and videos really often more. Do we have the sound? You can imagine an amazing song right now, whatever your favorite song is. That's right. I'll sing if you'd like. So Lucid's mission really is to inspire the adoption of sustainable transportation, creating the most captivating luxury electric vehicles centered around the human experience. This mission is not just a statement we put in a PowerPoint or a slide. The mission is built in our culture to deliver with passion, integrity, and we have a lot of fun doing this. Lucid designs our vehicles in California, where our global headquarters is. We manufacture in Arizona, and we have our regional headquarters here in Riyadh. And of course, as we sit here today, we're producing our award-winning, best-in-class performance EVs right here in Cake. And with as much as 520 miles in range, and as much as 300 miles in as little as 20 minutes, it's no wonder we continue to win awards globally. Our technology, sorry, Jim, is superior to anything in the market today. And so Lucid is committed to delivering excellence. Our first advanced manufacturing plant went from breaking ground construction to manufacture in approximately 1 year. This is no coincidence that we accomplished a similar achievement in Saudi Arabia. And Lucid is very proud of our second advanced manufacturing plant called AMP2. On the screen here is our first international plant that is just a few minutes drive from this hotel. The horizon in Cake is changing. In 2022, we kicked off construction. And now in 2023, we're assembling EVs in Saudi Arabia, right here in Cake. The speed of the team is remarkable, and really it's a testament to Cake and to our passion and commitment to be the driving force of the rapidly evolving EV industry here in the kingdom. More importantly, we built the plant safely with no lost time to injuries. The plant is Lucid's home. Saudi Arabia is our home. Cake is our home. And the creation of AMP2 is a significant step in our strategy and vision for the kingdom and the wider region. The pace of progress is only increasing, and soon the horizon will be filled with cranes and steel being erected for Lucid's expansion, including other exceptional OEMs like Sear and Hyundai, throughout an expansive supplier park. So the facility is truly world-class and features cutting-edge technology. The level of record-setting performance requires a supply chain that brings together the very best technology in the world for this industry to drive constant innovation. The interesting thing about EVs, and Lucid in particular, it's for the first time ever a car that the longer you own it, the better it's going to get because of the software development, because of the improvements that can be made real time. And the supply chain is not just parts, it's innovation and R&D. It's advancements in materials, dynamic logistics, charging infrastructure, talent development, and thousands of companies executing their scope with excellence, driven by a single vision to help change the world starting today here in the kingdom. Lucid has a studio network spread across the world, and we continue to grow. We already have an established flagship Lucid studio in the heart of Riyadh and a second studio coming to Jeddah very soon. But our plans don't stop in Saudi. We'll expand into the UAE and then into the wider region. And Lucid's growth is not alone. We grow with our shareholders, our stakeholders, and I think Jim put it perfectly, our strategic partners. And this is in complete alignment with Saudi's vision in 2030, right, which is incredibly inspiring. And so we're part of the kingdom's strategy to transform and diversify its economy, as well as transform purchasing habits, introducing the EV industry. Cars purchased in the kingdom will be electric. This is a blueprint for a green future, and Lucid is wholeheartedly supporting this goal. And candidly, I'd say it's a blueprint for the world. This would not have been possible without the agility and responsiveness of our government partners, values which are shared by Lucid and Saudi's leadership. I'd like to thank specifically several entities that have been on this journey with us. The Public Investment Fund, the Ministry of Investment, the Ministry of Industry, HRDF, King Abdullah Economic City, KSA, which has a booth right outside. I'd encourage you all, please stop by. SASO, Local Content and Government Procurement Authority, SIDF, and NIDC. All those involved in organizing this KSA AutoConnect Forum have done incredible work. I want to thank all of them, first of all, for exceeding every expectation coming here. I was here last night with Jim, and we were watching the final setup as we went through some of the dry run to make sure everything was working. And one of the things I was so incredibly impressed with was the positive energy of everyone who was doing the setup, the pride that everyone involved had. It was really inspiring. You know, and I left energized, despite being jet lagged and not having really slept in about 48 hours. And so all the people that have come from near and far, what an incredible opportunity we're provided today to really turn this vision into reality. And I'll say candidly, one of my data points for deciding to join Lucid is the engagement with Saudi Arabia. And I think one of the speakers said it perfect earlier today. What Saudi says they're going to do, they do. And so if you're thinking about investing here with us, with Sear, with Hyundai, with our tier one partners, I would say you're going to find some of the best partners that in my time globally, working with amazing companies around the world, I've had to deal with government entities like most of you. Candidly, government entities typically will slow you down. This is the first time in my life the government entities are driving private industry, right? Inspiring us to do more, to dream bigger, right? To move faster. And it's really been incredible. And so our current goal at peak will be assembling 5,000 cars annually. And engineering is well underway to design a full manufacturing plant Lucid calls a complete build unit, or CBU. The expanded buildings will be able to produce an annual capacity of 155,000 cars. However, we can't do this alone. We need to establish a full supply chain ecosystem that will be mostly based in cake, and much of the raw materials coming from within the kingdom. Now, EV is not the automotive industry. It looks like it, it smells like it, but it's incredibly different as well. In the EV industry, where 50% to 80% of the cost of the EV is driven by technology, some of the old ways of working will not get us where we need to be. We need to shift our mindset from operating from month to month and quarter to quarter KPIs. We need to align around a singular vision. The only way to drive long-term success is to operate with long-term thinking, to change the world for the better, to contribute to the growth of the kingdom, to create an entirely new industry. We have to ask ourselves what must be true. We have to operate in full transparency, to profit together and to continue to reinvest in society, in talent, and technology. Like most of you here today, I think we see the opportunity that the kingdom offers. It's a unique opportunity, and they're the facilitators driving this. If you look at the history of the kingdom, the incredible growth, the vision, the courage to drive positive change, the leaders here have demonstrated time and again that their vision, courage, and leadership provide lasting, measurable, and positive results. And we at Lucid cannot be more excited and more fortunate to call the kingdom our partners on this journey. to benefit not only Saudi Arabia, but the region and the world. It's a unique opportunity that I'm both privileged and humbled to be a part of. I'm fortunate to work for our CEO, Peter Rawlinson, and the rest of the Lucid team who have the courage and determination to share this common vision. So we're looking for strategic partners who see this vision, who want to invest with the kingdom, with Lucid, with Sear, with Hyundai, with our other partners, who dare to make a difference. We're looking for partners who dare to change the world for the better. And so Lucid's here today and tomorrow to meet with all of you. We want to hear from each of you. If you get a chance to go to our booth or visit the car, which are staged at this event, you'll have a chance to schedule a meeting with subject matter experts that are here today. You'll get to see the Lucid Air and take photos. You'll get to sign up for the Lucid Tour. The capacity is limited. And at the tour, you'll learn much more about the Lucid technology. You'll see our production line in action. You'll also get to see the rest of the Lucid staff that are working on the production line even as we sit here today. And Lucid's expectation is not to import. It is to build a vertical, integrated supply chain within the kingdom. And so let's take the time to really meet and speak about this opportunity to make a positive difference. This is the greatest opportunity you're going to find as an OEM, as a supplier, as an entrepreneur, and anyone with a passion for making the kingdom and the world a better place. And the decisions and actions that will transform CAKE and the EV industry in the kingdom, the region, and the world. We're going to export the latest and best technology right from here to the rest of the world. And an opportunity to be a part of that, I think, it's too hard to say no to. So I really could not think of a better responsibility for all of us today and tomorrow, really, and for generations to come, to take advantage of this incredible opportunity we've been handed and work together to see if we can't transform the world. So with that, I'll say thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kevin. And now, I would like to welcome Mr. Mark Stanton, the co-founder and CTO at Human Horizons.
Thank you, Your Excellency, and other distinguished guests. It's my honor to be here today to represent Human Horizons. Now, I'm sure many of you are going to be saying, who are Human Horizons? And I'm sure you're also going to ask, why am I here? So I'm actually asking why I'm here as well, but I hope I can explain that to you as the time progresses. So with no further ado, let's move on. Oh, hello. There we go. So, Human Horizons, we are not an EV company. Human Horizons is a technology company who happens to make EVs. And I really do make that distinguished comment here now because we see a different vision for the future. The future is not about EVs. The future is about connected technology and all the other wonderful things that you will see on our cars. So let me try and explain a little bit more as I go through our presentation. We were founded in 2017. So think about that. That is less than 6 years ago we started. I first visited China and met our team in China. There were 50 people in our team at the start of 2018. Today, here now, we are proud to be able to say that we have 3 cars in production already in China. Cars outside are not concept cars. Many people even today have asked me, is it a concept car? Far from it. They're real production cars. So what we're seeing here is reality, not a concept, not a vision of the future, okay? So when we started in 2017, we set out our vision for the future, which was to redefine human mobility. Sounds like a very grand statement. We believe the world is changing. The way people use cars, the way people see cars, what they want and expect is changing. And human mobility is changing as well. So we set out with the vision to create smart vehicles, smart roads, and smart cities. And the ecosystem that that creates, with all those things interacting together, is where the future lies, both in China, around the world, but also very clearly here in the kingdom as well. So as I said, we've been going for barely 6 years, but we've already achieved a huge amount of progress and success. So you can see here, we created our first brand, which is Hi-Fi. So our company name is Human Horizons, but we sell our cars under the brand of Hi-Fi and have successfully launched that. We have to date delivered over 15,000 vehicles and sold 15,000 very premium, high-end vehicles, as you'll see if you look at our vehicles outside. We have 2 manufacturing plants, one in Yangcheng and one further north in Qingdao. And we've generated over $1 billion of revenue with our sales. Now, some people still call us a startup company. I don't think we're a startup company. We've started. We're already well on the way. We've launched 3 models in the space of less than 6 years. The first model was produced in less than 3.5 years from nothing. So when you hear people talking about moving quickly, we're a demonstration of that. One of our biggest assets is the speed and capability that we have. We can move far quicker than conventional companies. Why I left my old company? They were too slow. I was fed up of how fast they were moving, all of the treacle that was in the business. They could not react and move quickly enough. We are able to move at twice the pace of conventional companies. And that is one of our major advantages, as well as our technologies that we bring. We have 5,000 employees now. The vast majority of those are in China. But as I'll mention in a few minutes, we are beginning to expand our operations beyond China now, which is one of the reasons I'm talking to you today. We have R&D centers. Our main one is in Shanghai, but we also have a center in Qingdao. And then beyond that, Chengdu, we have a software center. And then we also have a small center in Tokyo as well. And we plan to expand beyond that as well as we move forward in the future. Slow to move. There we go. Now I'm going to talk about several of the advantages. I've already talked about 1 or 2 that we have as a business. Another advantage that we have as a business is the experience of our senior management team. We have many, many years of history in the automotive business. Automotive business, as I'm sure my colleagues down there will tell you, is not an easy business. It's difficult. There are many ups and downs. You gain many scars along the way, and those scars help you to become a better person, a better leader, and really help you to move faster, as I talked, by eliminating the errors and the things that you observe. So we have collected together a very experienced team. David, who is our CEO and founder of the company, has more than 30 years experience in the automotive business. He did run GM. I shouldn't say helped. He ran GM in China and turned them into a huge success in China, selling over 1 million cars a year in China. So lots of experience from David. Ken, similarly, has 30 years of experience in the business as well. And you can see the companies that he worked for. Well, you can't actually see those companies he worked for. Sorry, it's very unclear. But again, Borgwood and General Motors, he has experience with. And then myself, I've been 40 years in the business now, and have worked around the world in many different regions on many different products around the world, and spent a lot of time in China, obviously, recently, but also in America and other places. In between us, there is Amy, who, and you'll see, Amy does not come from an automotive background. So we've tried to actually pull together experts in the different fields to support our business and support our plans, and really to enable us to do what we're doing today. So I think the clear message here is experience counts, but it's being able to apply that experience in the right way. Sound this time, so I'll be quiet. that was there you go. So some of the things I got from that brand video. We are very much a company that always intended to be international. So as you can see here, we have tried to fuse the best from the West and the East together. Actually, if you look at the logo in the center of the screen there, it's an amalgamation of the Phi and the Zong character in Chinese. And we fuse those together to create our logo. And actually, the character on the right, which I hope I pronounced well enough for the Chinese people in the room, has special relevance. It has special relevance because it talks about middle. And when we're here in the Middle East, it's a very good representation of where we are actually here. So the logo of our company was very carefully thought about to really try and represent what we were trying to do as a company in terms of fusing together the East, the West, and the middle as well. And the other thing that we're trying to do is cars outside today, you'll see things like the doors. A lot of people say to me, the roof door that we've got, it's a bit of a gimmick mark. To me, I said, yeah, you might look at it, but actually it provides practicality for the customers. It makes getting in and out of the car so much easier. If you're used to having young children, putting children into child seats is very difficult. I used to wrestle with my children. You can easily access them. All of the features on our car that you may think look like they're gimmicks, I can guarantee you there's a practical feature behind them that gives the customer a benefit, a real world benefit. We don't do things just for the sake of it. And then art and science. The design of our cars really stand out. We want our cars to really be different and unique. And we try to combine the art and looking forward to the future. My two colleagues who were talking earlier on about the future. The future is where we're heading. We're all heading there. And that's clearly the path that we, together with many people here today, in this room. So as I mentioned, we have our 3 products that are already launched. So in May of 21, again, I'm going to repeat it, less than 3.5 years from the founding of the company, we have our first product on the market. And by the way, it became the best-selling premium EV in China within a couple of months. Our second car, which we have here today, is the Hi-Fi Z, which is a 4-seat or 5-seat large GT. And then we have our third car, which we launched very recently in China in July, which is the mid-size SUV, which is the Hi-Fi Y. And you can see the price range that we currently cover. We are a premium company. We do cover the premium segments today. But who knows in the future where we might go? We might go up, we might go down, who knows? We'll see. And you can see down here, all those first 3 products were made off of the first architecture, and our second architecture is well underway, and we'll be having future products off our second architecture very soon. So the first one by end of 24 in the Chinese market. Show you a video of those products. That's interesting. The sound's gone on this one. Oh, no, there we go. So those are our first 3 products, and I would encourage you, like was mentioned earlier, go and see our cars, go and compare them and see what you think. But we have 2 of the 3 cars here today, and I hope you take some time to look at them and understand them. I mentioned about EV car. We're not an EV car company. Moving forward in the future, being EV is not the differentiator. You could say that when Tesla started, being EV was their key selling point, and they had a few technologies on top of that. EVs are the norm, or are becoming the norm, and that's not what differentiates the product moving forward. It's the technologies and the features that will differentiate the products moving forward, which is why we put such a large emphasis on that within our company and see ourselves as a technology company and not an EV car company. The four things that really unite our products together, and you'll see in every one of our products, I've mentioned before the unique design. You don't miss our products. When our car drives down the street, whether it's in the center of Shanghai, whether it's here in Riyadh or Jeddah, or in the center of London, and trust me, I've taken one of our cars right through the center of London, it literally stops the traffic. As a startup, which we were 5 or 6 years ago, it was important that people recognized us and saw us. They might not know who we are, but they would all stop and say, "What the hell was that?" And they remember. They go back and ask their friends, "Have you ever seen one of these?" Very important not to be a bland car that doesn't differentiate itself and stick out. So futuristic design and styling is very important, and you'll see it in all our cars. Premium. I mentioned the fact that our cars are quite expensive cars, but they're very premium cars. We believe we benchmark well against all of the traditional competition like Mercedes, BMW, Audi, my old company, Jaguar Land Rover as well. We are very premium cars. Technology, and if anybody wants to join me, I'm happy to take you through all the different technologies on the cars. And as I say, they all have practical purposes behind them. And then finally, I've forgotten the driving experience. Although our car has self-driving capability, people still do want to drive and still gain enjoyment when they can from driving the cars. So we've tried to ensure that the driving experience is as equally as good as any of the other premium cars that you can think of out there. All of these attributes you will find in all of our cars, and those are the key attributes for us for all our products. My colleagues earlier on were talking about manufacturing. This is our first manufacturing plant in Yangcheng in China. That's what it looks like today. Well, it looked like in 2020, it still looks like it today. That's what it looked like when we took it over. So we took over a very traditional old manufacturing plant. Well, old for Chinese perspective. From a UK or North American perspective, it wasn't old, but from Chinese perspective, it was. And we turned that into a state-of-the-art factory. Now, one of the things we did was we reused an existing facility, but actually nothing in the facility remained. It was just the buildings around it. We created a state-of-the-art facility, and I want to show you the video. And this is real. This is not CGI. This is the video of our facility. Thank you. I just want to say a few things about that. The first thing you may not have realized, but you saw the car with the steering wheel twirling around by itself. when the car finishes at the end of the production line, the car goes and finds its own parking space in the lot outside autonomously. The operators just leave the car and it goes and drives itself. A demonstration of the technologies that we have today. And you'll have seen the paint shop and also the body shop, 100% robotics, or 99.9% robotics in that shop. State of the art. AGVs, again, roaming around the factory autonomously. So this is not something that we're promising for the future. This is something we have today. In fact, we had it in 2021 when we launched our first product. So we have the capability, we have the technologies. Our technologies go well beyond the technologies just within the car. We bring the manufacturing technologies as well wherever we go with us. That was our first plant. We also have a second plant, which is on the way. And basically that has exactly the same technologies and capabilities within that plant as well. So this is up in Qingdao, and you see in the future we'll have that with 150,000 capacity to expand our capacity there in Qingdao. So we've talked a little bit about the technologies, the engineering, we've talked about the manufacturing. Next obvious place to go to is to talk about sales. So we have created our own domestic sales network. We started off with our own direct channel of sales. And then more recently, as our volumes have increased, we have added another distribution networks to that, which are not self-run. And with the combination of those, we have over 200 retail points now available by the end of this year in China. So we like to be directly connected to our customers. It's very important as a business, as a premium business, to be directly connected to the customers. Every one of our customers has an app which gives them direct access 24/7 to the whole team. David, our CEO, often will look at his app in the morning driving into work and see the comments, hopefully positive comments, from our customers each morning driving into work. They all have direct access to us, and trust me, they do like to talk and do like to give us some comments and ask for various things from us. So again, it's a very new and different way of doing business. In my old world, in Jaguar Land Rover, it would often take 3 months for something to filter from a customer through into the engineering team. Today, within 3 minutes, we can have a comment that comes in from the customer. And trust me, they expect a response equally as quickly. And that's something you really have to put into place if you want to be a premium provider. And most recently, I'm actually now spend a lot of my time in Europe because we're setting up our European sales. And we now have 2 stores in both Munich, 1 store in Munich, 1 store in Oslo, which we opened in September this year. And I'm pleased to say tomorrow, actually our first car will be delivered to a retail customer tomorrow out of our Munich store, a very nice Hi-Fi Z that he's ordered and is picking up tomorrow. So we have a number of customers lined up beyond that, but the first one goes out the door tomorrow, which is really good progress. So why am I here? Why am I telling you all of this? Well, first of all, we're proud about what we've achieved, and we want to spread the word and get people to know who we are. But more importantly, we are now working on globalization of our business. As I mentioned a few minutes back, we always intended to be an international business. The start was just China, but beyond that, we always had plans to move outside of China. And our focus for that globalization initially is Europe and also the Middle East. Now, we've been working for some time in the Middle East, and unfortunately, we're not yet ready to give you all the details of what we're going to be doing, but I can guarantee you that we will be coming here, and what we will be doing will be moving beyond just cars in the Middle East. So I'm very hopeful that we will be able to announce that in the not too distant future and give you far more details about that. Believe me, what we're doing, that you'll be equally excited and really look forward to working more together with people within the room. But obviously this is a supplier conference or connection conference, and despite the fact we can't tell you what we're doing, we wanted to make the most value out of this. So I want to talk to you about suppliers and supplier relationships and really introduce you to some of our suppliers. So one of our principles is to form a strong relationship with our supply base. We could not have produced our first car in 3.5 years without the support of our supply base. It's impossible. And in order to have that support, it has to be a strong relationship. It has to be a partnership. I think that was mentioned earlier on as well. You have to create very strong partnerships with the supply base. And we're pleased to say that we were able to do that. And we're pleased to say that our suppliers were willing to take on the challenge of moving as quickly as we wanted to move. In fact, they embraced that challenge. They enabled us to bring forward the new technologies onto our cars in the time frame that we wanted to do it. There was no pushback. They were willing to work with us. And I have to say, they were willing to take some risks. Firstly, we were a startup. Second, we wanted to move incredibly quickly. And thirdly, we had some incredible new technologies. But the suppliers were willing to take that risk and work with us. And by the way, many of them have reaped the benefits from doing that. We launched many world firsts on our first car, and the suppliers were able to sell some of those world firsts to other OEMs as a consequence of it being demonstrated so quickly on our cars. That's a really good example of how that partnership and that relationship can be of benefit to both businesses. And in terms of our suppliers, we have today over 300 suppliers that we work with, but it's a real mixture of suppliers. We work with 9 out of 10 of the top suppliers in the automotive business. You'll recognize, I'm sure, all of those. I look forward to working with the 10th one as well, by the way. We're not deliberately excluding that 10th person in that list. But you'll recognize those names, very big names, who are all willing to come and work with us as a startup. And by the way, the experience and the connections that David, myself, and the other senior team had was what persuaded those suppliers to come and work for an unknown company. Without those connections, they wouldn't have joined us. But we don't just work with traditional automotive companies. To deliver the new technologies that we have, we also work and partner with internet-type companies. I'm just going to pick out one in the middle there. If anybody's a gamer here, you'll have heard of Epic Games. Probably the demographics in the room are probably, yeah, there's one person waving back there, yeah. The demographics in the room, you're probably a bit too old, but sorry, I'm old as well, I can say that. But if you're familiar with Epic Games, they're one of the biggest gaming companies in the world. They make one of the best 3D graphics engines that you can possibly buy, which is called Unreal Engine. Go and look at the graphics in the Hi-Fi Z. It's the same graphics that you get from Epic Games on your games, okay? So we work with non-traditional suppliers from the automotive. And we also work with cross-industry suppliers, you can see there. So again, Meridian. Meridian make incredibly high-end premium home audio systems, but they also work for us and one or two other car companies in making very high-end audio systems in the car. So the Hi-Fi Y outside has got a 25 speaker system with 2.8 kilowatts of power on it. Forget about the numbers, just go and listen to it. It's a very, very high-end system, and the technology comes from outside of the automotive industry. And then CGXI, in there. The robot arm comes from CGXI. Before we worked with them, they were not an automotive supplier. They were a small robotics supplier. And they're here today, by the way, and I really want to thank them for their support because they enabled us to create a truly unique experience in the car by working together with us. And as we progress with our negotiations here within the kingdom, it is absolutely our intention to bring to the kingdom a number of suppliers to support the ambitions for the kingdom. And clearly there are already suppliers here in the kingdom supporting Lear Lucid and SEER. We don't want to compete with them. We want to add to that community. We want to bring additional suppliers who can help Lucid, SEER, and anybody else who might be manufacturing here. And by the way, every one of those suppliers that you see on that page is represented here today. So we have brought them from China to work with us and to interact with you. So if anybody wants to talk to these people, and you can see, you may not recognize all those names. And trust me, I've been in the business for many, many years. And when I was introduced to some of these suppliers, I had no idea who they were supplying back in Europe or in North America. And you can see these suppliers supply to Audi, BMW, Mercedes, all of the premium suppliers, all the premium OEMs. So you may not have heard the names, but trust me, when you talk to them, you'll realize how good they are and what they're able to do. And they're willing to come to the kingdom and be part of the journey that's ahead of you here in the kingdom. So I hope you now know a little bit about our company. I'm sorry I can't tell you more about our plans, but hopefully you'll be able to understand that very shortly. Trust me, we will be here in the kingdom, and we will be here very soon. And we're really excited to be part of what's happening here. I've worked in the business for 40 years. I could never have imagined when I started 40 years ago that I would be stood here today talking to you, representing a Chinese startup company making EVs in the Middle East. That is just, I couldn't have even dreamed about that. Yet it's now a reality. And it's really interesting to see what's happening here in the Middle East. I moved to China at the start of 2018, and China was already well along its path of advanced development of new technologies and its automotive business. And one of the reasons I was moving to China was because I was frustrated with the traditional OEMs and the speed they were able to move and what they were able to do. Got this opportunity to really join in with what's been happening in China. And it's one of the reasons why we are trying to bring Chinese companies here and Chinese suppliers here, because we see a lot of synergy between what's happened in China over the last 5 to 10 years with what is going to be happening here or is beginning to happen here in the kingdom. So we hope that we can be working together with you and be part of that, and we hope that there's a bright future for all of us. The market is certainly big enough, the opportunities are certainly big enough for every one of us to be successful here, especially with the support that the government is giving to all the projects. So with that, I want to say thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mark. Now there will be a vehicles demonstration in the main entrance, and a couple of agreements will be announced afterwards.
I'll have to get back to you. It's five. It's five. But I'll have to get back to you. Okay. Fine. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please take a seat? Where are they? With whom? With whom?
And TFF. Both are there. But they will sign it after.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, would you please be seated? We will continue with the final session of this agenda with the agreements, with a couple of agreements with suppliers and global OEMs. Thank you.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to ask Siemens and Seer to come on the stage, please. Thank you. Al Jafali and FTT Production Systems.